by a team of practicing artists that work for the project. Also, myself and our director, we're both practicing artists as well, so it's really an artist-led project.
So not only is it user-friendly, but it's also effective in that you have folks from the industry who have very specific needs and
finding the content.
Finding the
content.
They're doing it for themselves as well as
and we were just talking about
artists.
we were just talking about technology and how technology could be effective. However, if you don't if you don't make the content easy to access, you're in trouble.
Right. Yep.
And on the topic of resources, the grant programs and the grantees and the first ward and other areas of the city, I'm assuming that you integrate the system as well, right? To be able to talk about what grants are available.
Well, and the grants program is as integral a part of the division as is the public programming. They are just as old as the department. And there are a couple that we offer. And since we're talking about individual artists, I'll start with the program that we offer for individual artists. And it's called the Community Arts Assistance Program. And we administer that program in partnership with the Illinois Arts Council that provides the funding for it. So we re-grant dollars for the state, but it's a mutual commitment to making those dollars accessible to individual artists. So it comes from the Arts Council's Access program. But it serves, I believe, this year in 2008, we had about 216 individual artists. And when you spoke about the young and talented artists, especially in your community, that is exactly who this program is geared for new and emerging artists. So we make grants available to them of up to $1,000 on an annual basis. And artists from all the disciplines that are featured on CAR, just about in any discipline that you can imagine, in the performing and in the fine arts, are eligible to apply. And they are reviewed by panels of their peers. So if you are a choreographer, you have a panel of dance industry artists who are looking at your work and recommending your project for funding. And artists can use those grants primarily to make new work. That's part of the department's commitment, again, to making sure that we have a healthy and vibrant and thriving community of individual artists who are also a draw, like the artists that eventually get featured in Millennium Park. Well, before that, he or she might come to us for their very first grant as a practicing professional artist, and many of them go on to later receive other kinds of awards and fellowships that are posted on CAR. So
all of this material is posted on CAR.
It's posted on CAR.
So if you're watching this program, you need to go. What's the website again? What's the website address?
www.chicagoartistresource.org. And we actually, those of us from our CAR staff, go around on the demonstration workshops that are made available to all applicants for this CAP grant workshop, so that we can tell people about all the resources on CAR to help them to prepare for their grant application as well.
So this is ChicagoArtistResource.org.
So you can look for grants on the website, and you'll find information about our grants, and as well as all of the terrific resources on CAR.
Now I'm gonna, because I do represent the First Ward,
Okay.
I mean, obviously I have to put in a plug
for the First Ward,
for the entire First Ward, for the entire city. I mean, I love Chicago.
Right.
But I love the First Ward, Milwaukee Avenue. All the streets in the First Ward are my favorite streets, but there's a very special street, Milwaukee Avenue.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's this.
Rich community there.
There's all of them. All of them in the First. But you have the Flatiron Building, which is a special place because it really is a community of a group of artists who have workspace there and who are doing some very remarkable work. And in fact, recently there was a formation of a new non-for-profit that is formed. The Flatiron Artists created a new non-for-profit in addition to the Around the Coyote.
Right, which is one of the organizations that we support in our other grant program, and that's the City Arts program that makes operating grants to arts organizations. So it supports organizations in a range of disciplines, so theater companies and galleries and dance companies and arts education organizations all apply and receive funding. And they range in size. They mirror the community of Chicago. So you have little tiny storefront theaters all the way up to the major institutions that are, for which Chicago is world renowned, the Art Institute and the Lyric Opera and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
We also have the Chopin Theater.
The Chopin Theater. There's the Around the Coyote.
Also in the First Ward.
There's the Chicago Children's Theater in the First Ward. There's street level youth media, whose Neutral Ground program offers after school activity for young people. There's Young Chicago Authors that does spoken word and poetry programs.
And have you been to their poetry slams?
Yes. Yes,
they are supposed to be. These are incredible, incredible. So.
And they've been pretty successful. I think they've won a couple of competitions, if I remember correctly.
These are very, very bright young men and women from all over
the city.
I mean, I know we're kind of kidding around right now about the First Ward. We're being ward centric.
Yes.
So we're gonna stop being ward centric for a moment.
Right.
And in reality, I mean, the Chicago Young Authors, they appeal to people from all over.
Yes, they do.
They bring people from all over the city.
All over the city.
And I was amazed. I mean, I was just there recently on a visit, and they were telling me about students from all walks of life. So you have folks who are very cerebral to the kids who are very athletic, but want to meet other kids. And that's the great part about it, is that these programs. I mean, we talked about the cultural component, right, and how important it is to have art and what it means for a community, but I think it also brings people together.
Absolutely.
And having these different programs available, especially for young people,
certainly
puts really gives people an opportunity. You hear all these terrible stories about young kids being victims, whether they are hurting someone or they are being hurt or hurting themselves. It's these programs that, in my opinion, give these kids
an alternative.
They do. They provide a real
and
alternative.
a creative alternative, and it makes kids feel really good when they are working one-on-one with an individual artist, and they discover that they have the ability to create and not just to destroy in some cases. And once they find that out, they have a whole new thinking about themselves and their family and their communities.
There was another program, and I don't know if you've worked with them. It's called Kaleidoscope, and Kaleidoscope is an organization that deals with children who have been the victims of abuse, horrible, terrible stories of abuse, but the children are survivors.
Absolutely.
And their resilience and their perseverance, but they use art as a way to provide the therapy and to provide an outlet for these children to self-heal.
Yes.
And they've had some gallery shows, and if you're not familiar with them, I'd love to connect you with them, because I mean, the work that they've done, it's amazing. And they span from photography to painting.
That's great.
Yeah, it was
multi-arts.
It
sounds out.
And they were awesome. Unfortunately, they're no longer in the First Ward, but I'm still a big supporter and fan, as you can see.
Good.
Artists all over the city. We found many artists make their living as teachers and work in the communities all over the city as teaching artists. And I just wanted to mention that we also have a section on CAR which gives an inventory of all the different fantastic organizations like Street Level Youth Media or Marwin or CAPE that work in the communities with children and give artists this opportunity to give back and to direct their skills in those contexts.
That's a very good point. And there's a lot of collaboration with not only other non-for-profits, but I noticed with the Chicago Public School System and also with the Park District, where there are all kinds of opportunities. So if you're watching the program and you are an artist and you want